What a right royal mess. Prince Harry is back in the news, a man more overexposed than the porn star Ron Jeremy. Yes, the world's least happy millionaire has once again asked us to cry him a river and to whip out our tiny violins for this privileged aristocrat rattling around his Montecito mansion, which boasts 16 bathrooms, all of which he needs when you consider the amount of crap he comes out with. Having stayed away from the memorial service dedicated to his grandfather, Philip, in a confected row over security, it's apparently safe enough for him to gallivant around Holland, posing for photo opportunities at the Invictus Games. Take a look at this. Here he is on the back of a kid's Land Rover, demonstrating his mental age. Not the first bandwagon he's jumped on. So he's unsafe in London, where he would have his private security and would be in a ring of steel any time he was with the UK royals. But he's perfectly safe in Holland? That's what I call Dutch courage. God forbid that he should be targeted. But really, is he saying that he's safer in Holland than in the UK? Do international terrorists not travel? Do they not go to Holland? Maybe terrorists don't like the heavy cheese that they eat in that country. Or perhaps they find Heineken doesn't reach the parts other beers do. Fresh from living it up in Holland, Harry's got to pull his fingers out of the dike and give up the floods of tears. And how shocking that he should throw shade on his own father and brother by giving a politician's answer when asked this week how important they were to him. I honestly can't decide who's worse, the navel-gazing Ginger Windsor Harry or his wife, the woman who broke up the royal band, Yoko Ono herself, Meghan Markle. I just don't buy a word that this two ever say. I would trust the notorious crooked banker Bernard Madoff with my money before listening to these two. Seriously. Sorry, but I take everything these two say with a whole mountain of pink Himalayan. Take that dreadful non-interview with Oprah Winfrey in the Garden of Eden. That interview smelt of something, and it wasn't fertilizer. In fact, it contained at least one clear untruth. Meghan Markle claimed that they got married before the actual wedding, a claim refuted by none other than the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby. Yes, the woke Archbishop is sometimes actually awake. So, were the other devastating accusations made in that interview in relation to racism and mental health authentic? Were they credible? Well, you tell me. If true, it's horrific and unacceptable that they happened. But any jury would now question the reliability of this witness. Now, all of this could be old news, and it should be old news. I should be talking to you about the weather instead. Still nice, isn't it? But a bit chilly. But I can't talk about the weather because we have a prince, once a carefree, fun-loving national treasure, who continues to attack his own family and therefore the institutions and traditions of this country, which is perfect torture for William, Charles, and most tragically, our incredible 96-year-old monarch. Now, I once presented a show called Balls of Steel on Channel 4. There might be an ancient photograph knocking about. Well, Prince Harry, oh, there you go, looking very carefree. Well, that was about 15 years ago, I'll be honest with you. Well, frankly, I presented Balls of Steel, but Prince Harry has gonads of titanium, claiming that his priority is to protect the Queen. And by protection, he means moving thousands of miles away, starring in podcasts and TV shows, slagging his family off and undermining the institutions that have given him this platform and these riches. All happening, of course, whilst Brits at home work out how to heat their homes and feed and clothe their families. For Prince Harry to say he's protecting the Queen is like Count Dracula claiming he's protecting the nation's blood supplies. With friends like that, who needs enemies? Far from having the Queen's best interests at heart, he's the greatest thorn in her side. And his attacks on the family and our monarchy is by definition an attack on the British people too. If he and Meghan hate the whole setup so much, then why don't they sever ties with the family and relinquish the titles of Duke and Duchess of Sussex. It's the worst hypocrisy to attack an institution whilst continuing to make millions from the honour, prestige and traditions that they represent. And of course, they won't give up the royal titles because then they'll lose the Spotify deal, among many others, and will probably have to give up a few of those bathrooms. Imagine only having 10 loos, for example. I wish we could flush these two down the plug hole, lecturing the world about climate change from a private jet. Do me a favour. And how is spilling the beans about the Queen's most intimate moments protecting her, including what presents she gives out, her sense of humour, and who she trusts the most? All examples of Harry's oversharing. How is it protecting the Queen to create a soap opera around her beloved husband Philip's memorial service when what she needed was quiet dignity and support? And how will it protect the Queen when Harry brings out his tell-all book designed to upstage her Jubilee celebrations and which will offer a portrait of the royal family that makes Thomas Harris's characterisation of Hannibal Lecter in The Silence of the Lambs look positively flattering? And it's my view that this book will be the greatest work of fiction since War and Peace. Bore and Peace, more like. Harry cuts a joyless figure at the moment. He looks haunted, like a rabbit in the headlights, a kidnapped victim of woke California, silently mouthing the words, "I'm a royal, get me out of here," to the world's cameras. I personally wish him and this young couple and their lovely kids all the very best. Harry is obviously a charming guy, and what he went through as a child with the appalling loss of his mother and his service to this country in the armed forces will never be forgotten. But neither will his unending self-indulgent strop about his own family, one which hurts the Queen and, in its own way, hurts the country too. If you don't like the royal setup, Harry, then leave it properly. Give up its perks and give us all a break. Frankly, he should take the title of Duke and Duchess of Sussex and give it a right royal flush down one of his 16 toilets. Bog off, Harry.